Ember was a land kissed by twilight. The sun, a distant memory, barely touched the volcanic plains and ash-covered forests. But the people, they thrived. They had made peace with the Abyssal Host, demons of shadow and flame. The demons craved the warmth of the mortal realm. In return, they offered protection from the horrors that lurked beyond the veil. The pact was ancient, etched into the very fabric of Ember. It was a bond of necessity, a dance between light and darkness. For generations, Ember knew only peace. Children played in the shadow of ancient ruins, whispering tales of the First Covenant. Life, though different, was good. The Conclave of Ash, a brotherhood of warrior monks, guarded the pact. They were the keepers of balance, the protectors of the fragile peace. They trained their bodies and minds to resist the lure of the abyss. Their temple, a fortress carved from obsidian, stood sentinel at the edge of the whispering abyss. Callen, a young monk with eyes as bright as embers, yearned to prove himself. He trained with unwavering dedication, his heart filled with a burning desire to protect his people. He believed in the pact, in the delicate harmony it represented. Little did he know, destiny had other plans. The elders spoke of a time before the pact, a time of chaos and fear. They warned of the fallen angel, who had tempted the first king with promises of power. They spoke of the dagger, a key to unimaginable darkness, hidden within the ruins of the First Covenant. One night, a blood-colored moon hung heavy in the ash-choked sky. The air crackled with unease. The elders gathered in the heart of the temple, their faces grim. A prophecy, whispered for generations, was about to unfold. A shadow had fallen upon the conclave, a whisper of dissent that spread like wildfire. A faction led by the ambitious elder, Callen, believed the pact made them slaves. They sought to claim the power of the abyss for themselves, to rule Ember with an iron fist. Callen, consumed by his lust for power, saw the prophecy as a sign. He rallied his followers, their hearts poisoned by fear and ambition. They stormed the inner sanctum, their blades thirsting for the blood of their brethren. The pact, etched on ancient scrolls guarded for centuries, would burn. The scrolls burned with unholy fire, the air thick with the stench of betrayal. As the last embers faded, the ground trembled. The sky ripped open, unleashing a torrent of shadows and screams. The demons, their pact broken, were no longer bound by the ancient laws. Chaos reigned. The once peaceful city became a battlefield consumed by fire and shadow. Callen, his heart heavy with betrayal, fought his way through the carnage. The elders lay dead, their bodies broken and burned. Only Callen remained, the weight of his fallen brothers heavy on his shoulders. He knew what he had to do. He had to find the fallen angel's dagger, the only weapon capable of resealing the breach and restoring the balance. He fled into the ash-choked night, the screams of the dying echoing in his ears. The fate of Ember rested on his shoulders. Section 5. Callen's Pilgrimage. The ruins of the First Covenant lay beyond the Whispering Canyons, a treacherous labyrinth of obsidian cliffs and howling winds. Legend claimed the canyons were haunted by the souls of those who had dared defy the abyss. But Callen had no choice. He journeyed for weeks, the unforgiving landscape mirroring the turmoil within him. He was haunted by the faces of his fallen brothers, their dying screams a constant echo in his mind. Hunger gnawed at his belly, and exhaustion weighed heavy on his limbs, but he pressed on. The air grew colder as he neared his destination. The ground was littered with the bones of forgotten sacrifices, a grim reminder of the price of power. He could feel the presence of the abyss, a suffocating darkness that threatened to consume him. The entrance to the First Covenant was a gaping maw carved into the face of a cliff. Inside, the air hung heavy with ancient magic and the stench of decay. Callen could hear whispers, slithering through the darkness, tempting him with promises of power. They were the voices of the abyss, eager to claim another soul. He ventured deeper, his hand hovering over the hilt of his obsidian blade. The path was treacherous, riddled with traps and guarded by monstrous creatures twisted by the power of the abyss. Each step was a battle against the encroaching darkness, a test of his dwindling strength and unwavering resolve. The whispers grew louder, more insistent as he descended deeper into the heart of the ruins. They promised him power, revenge for his fallen brothers. All he had to do was surrender, to embrace the darkness that beckoned him. The dagger lay at the center of a sprawling chamber, pulsed with an eerie violet light. But guarding it was a creature of pure shadow, its form shifting and writhing like flames. It spoke with a voice that chilled Callen to the bone, promising him power in exchange for his soul. Callen fought, his blade singing a mournful song as it clashed against the creature's shadowy claws. But for every strike he landed, the creature seemed to grow stronger, fueled by his fear and despair. His strength was failing. He knew he couldn't defeat this creature through brute force alone. He had to bargain. Drawing on his training on the ancient rituals passed down through generations of monks, Callen reached out to the creature with his mind. He offered himself his life force in exchange for the dagger and the power to reseal the abyss. The creature hesitated, its form flickering as it considered his offer. Then, with a deafening roar that shook the very foundations of the ruins, it accepted. Callen felt a searing pain as the creature drained his life force, his body growing cold and heavy, but he had the dagger. With the last of his strength, he plunged the weapon into the heart of the breach. The ground buckled, a blinding light erupted, pushing the darkness back into the abyss. Then, silence. The whispers were gone. The shadows retreated. The pact was restored. When the dust settled, Callen was gone. Some whispered he had ascended, becoming one with the balance he had fought so hard to protect. Others believed he was simply consumed by the abyss, his sacrifice in vain. The truth, lost to the shifting sands of time, remains a mystery. But the dagger, the key to unimaginable power, remained. It lay embedded in the heart of the ruins, a silent sentinel guarding the fragile peace between Ember and the abyss. It serves as a reminder, a testament to the sacrifices made in the name of balance, and a warning to those who would dare disturb the peace. For the whispers of the void never truly fade, and the hunger of the abyss is eternal.